It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
My name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I'm your host. I have my co-host with me, Devon Franklin from Extremities Radio. And all the way from Boston, LA, I give you Big Ace, the King. Now, he's a rapper, he's an artist, he does it all. And show him some love on The Legends. Welcome to the show,
Hey,
The
Ty.
Legends.
How you
man.
doing? Pleasure
You-
to be here.
Yeah,
Thank
you know, the funny thing about it, we did an interview a couple of years ago, and less than about a week, man, we had about over 100 viewers, man. I was very impressed with that.
Wow, that's
you know,
awesome.
Because you talked about serious stuff, not just your being an artist, but, you know, you talked about your family, your son, of course, and things of that nature, man. So tell the viewers what's been going on, you know, besides that through the years. Man.
Well, you know, I'm a family man first. You know, I love utilizing my talent to uplift my family, uplift the people in my community. I'm community driven.
Right.
You know, throughout the course of my life, I've just been utilizing my talents to try to uplift the kids in the community so we can, you know, go after our goals and accomplish our dreams. You
Right.
know? And just lately I've been, you know, promoting the music, but it's been a challenge because my house caught a fire. You know, I lost everything I ever worked hard for. You
Right.
know, but I feel like this is just another challenge for me, and God's going to bless me with miraculous things. So I'm just working
Right.
hard towards those things now, and I'm putting more effort into my goals. And the fire put a fire inside of me,
Right,
basically, to be more driven.
You know, we all go through challenges of life, Ace, man, and God didn't take away your gifts.
Amen.
That's the most important thing, man, because it still gives you a chance to encounter the things that you still want to, and maybe some things happen for reasons.
Yes.
But you didn't lose no lives, and that's the blessing
Yes.
of it, you know. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, may God be the glory for that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I write a lot, you know, so I've been working on this script for a while. I changed the name a couple of times, but I finally finished it after I lost all my pages in the fire. I was like, I got to get that script done. So I don't know how I did it, but I focused on it and I finished it. And I'm working with a guy named Steven Sticks Josie
Okay.
on the film, and my cousin Tuck.
Right.
And it's called Uncle Buck's House. It's a comedy. It's
Okay.
like Soul Plane meets Brothers meets Next Friday. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's really,
Okay,
really
okay.
cool. Yeah.
All right. So you hit him off.
Oh man, I want to know a little bit about your background. Where in Boston are you from, man?
Okay, I'm from a small town called Grove Hall. It's on the border of Roxbury and Dorchester. In my city, there was so many talented young guys. You know, one that was prominent in my life was David Vaughn. He had a bunch of different bands. When I was coming up, I was in elementary school.
Okay.
And Murray Starr had a couple of bands out, but I was a b-boy, so I was a street dancer.
Right.
So whenever there was a party, I would always want to show up. You know, I was a little too young. I was watching Soul Train, always felt like I was ahead of the curve because I was watching them. So I was practicing all the James Brown and Michael Jackson moves, and
Oh wow. Okay.
they performed at my school, and I was so impressed. I was like, that's what I should be doing.
Okay.
I was like between first or second grade,
Okay.
and I kept trying out for that band. That was my whole life, getting in that band. I was like, I
Right.
gotta get in this band. And I made my cousin teach me the steps. You know, they were forbidden. David Vaughn had a very strict discipline regimen. Everybody was on time for rehearsals, and nobody was doing anything outside of rehearsing. So we had to make sure that all our grades was up, and make sure that our manners was great, you know, and we were very disciplined when we were young through him. And that's basically what I've been doing. My background was my crew, the Funk Effects. I did a little bit of Sports, when I was young, I was a track star. I never lost a track race in the 440.
Wow.
And I was a gymnast. I never went to gymnastics school, but I was a great gymnast, you know. And yeah, I worked along David to help teach choreography for different bands.
Right, right.
You know, so I started working with New Edition, New Kids on the Block. Later on down the line, I worked with Perfect Gentlemen, then Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, which was I was a part of that band, Marky
Right.
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Okay.
And
Okay.
just been working with Mark on movies after the Funky Bunch kind of slowed down, but then I got back into the music because
Right.
that was my soul.
Right,
you know?
right.
Right.
And I feel like I can express myself the best through
Yeah.
music. You know?
Right.
You know, and so let's take it back a little bit. What artists were you actually listening to, and which actually influenced you, man?
I was really deeply influenced by all the Motown sound.
Okay.
You know, Stevie Wonder was a great artist to me, and
Still is.
Diana Ross, the
Yeah.
Supremes, all those guys on Motown. You know, I love the Motown sound of Jackson 5. Michael Jackson was one of my greatest inspirations.
Right.
You know? His energy that he brought to the stage and the creativity is just mind blowing. Lately, I've been impressed by Chris Brown. You
Okay.
know, Usher.
Right.
I like 50 Cent. I love the new stuff that the young rappers are doing. You know, I just don't like a lot of the gangster rap, but you know, all of it's very creative and entertaining to me.
Let me ask you a question. You got something to say, D?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Hip hop. Let's talk about hip hop. The rap scene. What's going on right now, from the old school to the new school. We're looking at a lot of controversy right now for the craft, man. You know, especially with things that's going on with. I'm not going to call names, but we all know what's going on right now with the industry and how it's actually taking an impact on a lot of greats. And how do you feel about that, man?
Well, I really feel like I represent love, you know?
Right.
So I feel like love is the most powerful frequency in the world. So with that, we can create a better hip-hop culture. So I think the old school needs to show more love because we have all the love when we were coming up. you
Right,
know?
right,
And
right.
we just got to share that with the younger generation and not follow, you know, the anger and the hatred that's been spewing from all these beefs and everything. You know, we got to stop
Right.
all of that and work together and build up each other.
I got a question. Coming from Boston, do you and because you named several acts and several groups from Boston, you know what I'm saying, that we're familiar with. Do you think that the music scene, like hip hop, R&B, or the music scene in Boston gets enough light, mainstream wise?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think we do kind of, but I think that's on the artists also. The artists, you know, sometimes when you from Boston, you want to get out of Boston and break away. And I love Boston.
Right, right.
I represent Boston. I represent Grove Hall, Roxbury. That's where I'm from, you know, and that's where we all got our roots from. So
Right, right.
I always honor Boston, you know, and I think that's just an individual choice because sometimes we go through so much
Right, right.
and we want to just highlight something else that doesn't make us feel bad about the past. I think sometimes the
So if you-
past
Go ahead.
of Boston kind of haunts certain artists, so they try to talk about other things outside of Boston.
If it was in your power to give a greater reach, how would you actually think that you can excel at?
I just, again, I believe that love is the key,
Okay.
and I represent love, and I think that putting more love into this hip hop culture is going to make a difference.
Right. So let's talk about your name, man. You know, tell the viewers about your name and how you actually encountered it.
Well, I'm a king in every aspect of the name, but in a different sense. I'm a king of chess. Yeah, I win
I hear you. I
chess
hear you.
games.
Okay.
That's why I say I'm the king. You know, I'm always trying to capture somebody's king in chess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's great, man, because I might have a challenge for you, bro. You
Okay,
know?
let's go. Let's go. I'm always up for
Do
a
you do it
challenge.
online too?
I do it online on chess.com. I'm Big A's 2018.
Okay. Man, hail to the king.
Right. So, tell us a little bit about the music that you got going on, the projects that you're working on currently.
You got a new album out, right? That you kicked
Yeah.
out to me. So let's talk about that.
The album is called The Throne of Grace. I have a song out right now called I Am, which is basically, uplifting myself, because sometimes when you don't have people cheering for you and rooting for you, you have to root for yourself, and you have to big yourself up and pull yourself together to make things happen.
Okay.
Without anybody support, sometimes you have to do it for yourself. And so that's what I Am is about. It's like, I am an artist. I can do this, and I have done great things. But sometimes when you get a little older, and I'm a little older, you kind of, you doubt yourself a little bit, So I had to have self-affirmations that I could do it,
Right.
And I Am is basically, telling myself that I can do it.
When
So I'm
you
telling everybody that you can do it too.
Right. But when you say doubt yourself, you mean at a more competitive state? I mean, due to the fact that there are young artists coming up right now?
I think it's, like sometimes when you get older, you kind of run out of things that you want to say that you feel are important.
Okay.
And
That's interesting.
when I looked at a lot of the situations in the world, I was like, I really do got something important to say. And I feel like love is the main thing, because
Right.
Well,
if
see-
you don't represent love, things fall apart so easily.
And see, I also concur, especially with older gentlemen, older people that put together music, because people tend to forget a lot of the main classics. The industry has this thing where they cut people off at a certain age. But if you think about Stevie Wonder's best music, Marvin Gaye's best music,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of that came after the age of 30.
Right.
Because as the older that you go, the more wisdom that you attain, the
Exactly.
more you have things to talk about that can actually be more beneficial toward the masses as a whole. So
Right.
I
And
definitely
the younger
agree.
generation.
Yes, sir. Especially, yes,
Oh,
especially because the young generation can actually look and listen to it and say, "Oh, okay,
Right.
I see what OG's saying." Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So, yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
important. And I love what the music that the younger generation is making, but it's just the beef that we're creating amongst each other that has to stop. We have to uplift each other and support each other.
I listen to a lot of music, man, and I don't think that. I mean, for me, I don't think that hip hop has to be explicit to get a point across.
Right.
Really, I mean, I think that it's not really a presence of really getting your point across, you
Right.
know. And I've always been against it in a sense, because I have kids too that listen, and I noticed that if I have to play something, I have to cut it off, because I don't want them to hear what's going on, because they walk around the house, and I'm
Right.
I'm sort of like against it, even though they do remixes, but I feel the artists don't really have to do that.
I feel like we've been conditioned to accept it.
Right.
But
Society,
yeah,
in a sense, yeah.
But when I listen to it, I just sometimes I turn it down, because I'm in an environment with family, and I don't want everybody in the family to hear all the vulgarity sometimes.
It's been going on so long that people actually forgot the fact that we didn't actually use it in the beginning.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because prior to, let's say 92, 91, 92, the vast majority of the hip hop music that you heard didn't have any of it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially the ones that you heard on the radio, mainstream,
Right.
and on television. So we can get back to that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, yeah.
there is hope for that. You do have artists out there that actually delivers different type of messages. It's also left to the program, the radio programmers and
Right.
the DJs to actually play some of the stuff that is more beneficial and more, enlightening for the minds
Right.
and the masses. So.
Hey, so let's talk about some of the stage presence that you had. Some of the stuff that you've done, where, and stuff like that.
I've worked with a lot of different artists, and mostly I've been working on films with multiple
Okay.
artists. I just recently worked with Yahya Abdul, and he's an amazing actor. He
Okay.
just starred in this
Is
movie.
this based on your story or
No,
something that you
this
wrote?
is
or
based
just-
on actually a true story that
Okay.
happened in 1966.
Right, okay.
When voting rights activists were getting killed by the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, okay.
And they hired somebody on the outside to try to find out, you know, who was actually killing the activists.
Okay.
And Mark Wahlberg played a character named Scarpa, and it's just an amazing,
Wow.
amazing film.
Are you directing it, or are you just
No,
producing?
I was actually just working on the cast and the crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so futuristically, it's going to come into a whole
should be-
different effect. and
Oh yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I think it's going to be something that people will definitely learn from. You know.
Okay.
Almost sounds like Mississippi Burning a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Intrigued. Yeah.
You know, even though life has taken a turn for you, man, I have to commend you for actually coming here, man, on the show and showing still that you have confidence in yourself, man. Because
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people, man, they would have given up. I know some people that would just give up.
Yeah, I love what I do, you know,
You know.
and like right now I'm also #1 in this competition of America's Next Top Hit Maker.
Okay, okay.
And so I can't believe I'm #1
wear so
in the
many
top
hats, man.
10
It's incredible,
category
man.
right now. It's
And that's
just
love.
amazing.
You know, I'm amazed with you, man. I really
thank
am.
you.
You know, the first time that we spoke a few years ago, man, you talked about your son.
Yeah, my
And
son's doing amazing stuff.
So let's
too.
talk about your son, man, and let the world know exactly
Well, I have
what's
two
going
sons.
on.
They're both amazing.
Okay.
Aunt Thomas and Tones Thomas. They're both musicians.
Okay.
Aunt Thomas is, you know, he has a crew called Deuce Fam. They do a bunch of events. And Anthony's an activist also. He's
Okay.
going on marches for women that lost their kids to street violence. And
Oh, wow.
he's just a great, smart kid, you know.
Okay.
He respects his family. He's always there for all the siblings. I can never say enough good things about him, you know.
Okay.
He honors his mom. He honors his dad. And, you know, he's always helping all his friends. He helped he actually educated a lot of his friends to help him through college. And
Right.
he tutored so many kids from his old high school. He's just phenomenal.
That's cool, man.
Phenomenal.
And how does it make you feel, man? I mean, just to
It makes
be,
me feel really good.
make you feel like a captain.
But yeah, I feel blessed that God chose me to be His dad.
Right.
You know, I truly
know.
do.
My question to you, man, I mean, even though, and this is a very valid question because it actually corresponds to what you're going through right now. What would you say to the artists that's coming up right now, man? Even though they go through the ups and the downs and the moderations of life and things of that nature, what would you actually say to them, man?
You gotta really work on your craft. Don't give up. You know, if you believe in what you're doing, don't let nobody tell you any different. You gotta convict yourself to what you believe in, and that never stop. You
Right.
know, never stop working on it until you get to where you want to go.
Okay.
Because if you, I believe if there's a thought that God put in your head, God wants you to do it. So that's what drove me too. Like, I'm such a firm believer in God's word. Like, I feel like God put this in me to do this. So, and I feel like God wants me to help people and turn people back to being loving, because there's so many hateful people in the world, and
Yeah.
it's just unnecessary. We're here to love and help each other, not to hurt and kill each other. You know?
So you say that in the sense of purpose, in a sense.
Yes.
Did you hear them all?
Oh man, shit. I'm at a loss, but yeah. Let's talk. Well, shit. Nah, I ain't got nothing, man.
He said it all. He capped it up, man.
You know, I actually, I'm doing an event for my Sober for Life family, because I've been sober for 3 years now.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
I've loved this community that I created. You know, it's a program to help people that are struggling with alcohol and substance addiction.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very committed to this too. Every day we have talks, we support each other, and you
Like a
wouldn't
support
believe-
group.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe just that little support helps people
Right.
stop, you know, drinking or stop doing drugs or whatever addiction that they have, and we're actually helping people become more healthy. You
And
know?
what made you get into that point of that degree?
Well, it's based on my own experience. You know, I was an alcoholic.
Okay.
I was a functioning alcoholic.
Right,
you know,
right.
and I was hiding it from a lot of people that I was really into drinking, and that was me hiding my pain. You
Right,
know, whenever
right.
I felt like I couldn't take too much of the pain that was in my head
Yes.
only, I started drinking. It made me feel better for the moment, but then it started becoming a bigger problem as I drank more.
Right.
And I was saying things that I shouldn't say and acting out. So I had to get control of that, and I went to a program
Right.
in once I went to the program, it opened my eyes up to what I was actually doing to my body and to my family and friends that trust me. So, and I just wanted to make a difference in my life, in their lives, and then through the group, at the end of every group, they would want me to pray. And so through the prayer, I found the Sober for Life family. They all would connect with me every day at the end of every day, and we'd talk, and we'd like, we got to keep this going because this, people would tell me how much it's really helping them. So after I got out of the program, I decided to found the Sober for Life family and keep us all together as a family.
That's a support group.
Yeah. So I've actually been talking to some people in Vegas about getting, the Sober for Life Family Expo and talent show together. So I'll be working on that also to support them. And I'm doing a Sober for Life Family film to help people understand and to raise more awareness of the effects of alcohol and drug addiction.
The most important thing is that the awareness here actually consists of, from my point of view, is let them know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
As far as addiction.
Yeah.
I've been in recovery for a very long time, man, and I found out what keeps me going is my fear, my loneliness, my anger, pain, and my pleasures of life. And what I had to do was I had to channel those out and see which was my strongest and my weakest points in life. And I worked on it. And I found out, man, that I got a lot of self-worth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I don't judge nobody for what they do as far as whatever they do. All I can say is just give you my story as a testimony, and if you want to run with it, you can.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the day, I look at myself and I say to myself, you know what? At least you can give somebody something. You can give them some type of hope.
Oh, yeah.
With their fear, their loneliness, their anger, their pain, or their pleasures of life.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel good about that. You know what I'm saying? And I commend you on doing that, man. That makes me and you even more of a bond, because
Thank you.
I can still call you up Ace early in the morning. Hey, Ace, I'm feeling a certain way, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do the same for me, too. And that's an extended invitation, bro.
Oh, yeah. My line is an open door for all my friends and family members of the Sober for Life family. I told them all the time, call me anytime, and they do.
Right.
Whenever, anyone's having a struggle, they call me, we talk through it, I've actually talked someone out of committing suicide. I feel so happy about that.
That's amazing.
And it's one day at a time, some people fall off and they relapse, and I just keep at it. I don't try to overload them, but it's never a judgment zone. It's a it's a non-judgment.
It's an ongoing process, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's still vulnerable a day at a time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some upcoming events that you're doing that you want them to know about. That's going to be in the future. And things before we close it down.
I need everybody to vote me in to become America's next top hit maker. If you go to my site, you can see it's on my bio. Vote
Tell
for
them the site.
Big A's the King at the tophitmaker.org page. Big A's the King. And your vote isn't just voting for me. It's a vote to help stop extreme poverty. And this is something that needs to get under control because we let it get out of control,
Well, Ace, it's been a pleasure, again.
Oh, yeah.
But this time we're physical, and I'm glad to have you here, man.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I want to thank my co-host, Devon, for coming through, man. Extreme Radio, y'all got to check out his show.
Extremities ENT on IXS Radio.
And him and his boy, Jose Rivera, they be putting it down, y'all, every Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
So you got to check them out. And my name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody that's here right now. You know what I'm saying? And this has been another one of my episodes, and y'all tune in for another one. Thank you, guys. And thank you, man.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
And spin me on your show.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's the only way you and me will ever be free. Elevate L-O-V-E, that's the key to unity. Gotta elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's every nation, you and time for elevation. Elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's the key to unity. Now we playing at a level not too many can go. Far from the days of hanging out on a block, yo. We wore these jeans with gazelles with their Kangos, but still ran up on that ab and let them things go. Now everybody's giving grace, born in this life. It's like a birthright, a holy sacrifice. So we stay winning collectively. Gotta stay focused, man, respectively. So we can make major moves with no hesitation. Me and my team all about the elevation. Rise above the competition, who been waiting? Patient to be in the realms of our greatness. Haters love to stop my shine, so they be hating. If they step across these lines, man, I'ma break them. No comprehending all the problems I'm facing. Try to be cool, running out on my patience. Like a lion out the cage, I gotta chase him. Till they see I'm number one, there's no debating. It is what it is, black and white, no races. Try to find peace and love in God's oasis. Aces on the case, going all throughout the nation. While they play my songs in heavy rotation. While I travel state to state, no vacation. But this is my moment for life, so I'ma take it. Elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's every nation, you and time for elevation. Elevate L-O-V-E, that's the key to unity. Yeah. Elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's the only way you and me will ever be free. Elevate L-O-V-E, yeah, that's the key to unity. I remember mama said, baby boy, you a star. Always put Yahweh first, no matter where you are. Haters gonna hate on you because of the fame. So many fake homies in the game, it's a shame. It could be the end of the world and they won't change. That's why I gotta work hard and pray to God. Don't be a lost soldier on a boulevard. They all lost hope because they too far gone. Too many young men right in the back of the hearse. Gotta bring them all back, realize their worth. God died for you, he died for me. So if I ride for you, you ride for me. And if I pray for you, you pray for me. Together we can change the fate of humanity. We gotta learn to forgive our inequities and flex the big picture, the L-O-V-E. You know, every nation, time for elevation. Love is the highest vibration. That's the key to unity. We gotta elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's the only way you and me will ever be free. Elevate L-O-V-E, cause that's the key to unity.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.